Hello and welcome to the Sewing Studio. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really quick and easy reversible table runner, and I've made this using border fabric. Now very often we get asked, what do we do with border fabric? So you could make this as wide as you want because the border fabric comes on a roll like this. So you can see we've got this gorgeous print at one end. So we've got more flowers one end than we have the other, but that doesn't matter, as I'm going to show you with this. So if you wanted to make a wider table runner, you would just buy a wider width of fabric, because this is folded over on the bolt. And this is Ruby Star fabric, and it's called Rise, and it's the border fabric. And at the moment of making this video, it's in the sale. So depending on how wide you want your runner to be, whether you're looking at a table runner or a bed runner, would depend on the width that you buy. Now I've got two pieces of border fabric for my table runner because I wanted it to be reversible. So I've got the pink on one side and I've got the blue on the other side. Now, as I said, you've got a smaller piece of the pattern here, and you've got a bigger piece of the pattern here. But for me, that doesn't matter. I'm not worried that it isn't symmetrical. So as I say, I've got a reversible table runner, and it's ideal for the summer for a little picnic table. So I'm just going to show you what we're going to do. So I've taken a piece of border fabric. I've already put some wadding underneath it, and I've backed it with some of the Lewis and Irene Bumbleberries fabric. So this one won't be reversible, but it's entirely up to you how you do it. So I'm just going to demonstrate how to mark it up for quilting. So I've already got my wadding between my top fabric and my back fabric, and you'll notice that I've got a little bit more backing and wadding before I start the quilting. And that's a tip, never cut it to size, always have it that little bit bigger, and then when you've finished your quilting you can trim it down to the size that you want. So I'm going to cross hatch this as I cross hatch the other one. Now to do this, I'm going to take my ruler. It's not quite long enough, so I'm going to have to just pop another one on as well. And I'm going along the diagonal where the pattern is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these iron off marker pens, and I'm going to draw my lines. So I want to mark the whole quilt for quilting before I go to the machine. So I've got that line, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 2 inches from that line. Let's make sure I do 2 inches and not 2.5. So I'm measuring 2 inches from that line, starting in that pattern and coming to the edge. Again, I'm going to move it. My 2-inch line is on the drawn line. I'm going from the edge of the pattern to the edge of the fabric. And I'm going to come back the opposite way and put my 2 inches on that line. I'm not going right into the pattern. You could, if you wanted to, you could go right the way across, but I'm leaving the pattern of the fabric unquilted. And now I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm just checking I'm not using the extra ½ inch. And you can see I've gone a bit wibbly there, but that doesn't matter because it's all going to iron off. When I come to do the quilting, I should just be using a straight line. That's the great thing about these iron off pens. I'll just draw that line in again because you can't see that one very well. So there you can see the crosshatch lines. And to quilt this, I would use a walking foot. I would increase my stitch length to 3. And for the top, I would use a cream thread, or if you're a really confident quilter, maybe go with the gold or the pink or the blue to really show your quilting up. But if you're not confident, then go with the cream. And on the back, I would use a pale pink. So I'd have a pale pink in my bobbin, a cream on the top, and I would just follow these lines using a slightly bigger stitch until you have created one that looks like this. So you can see that lovely cross-hatch quilting, which is one of my favourite. So I used pink on my top thread and I used navy on my bottom thread. And I'm really pleased with this for a quick and easy summer table runner. And then I just used a navy grunge, and this is called Nocturne, and I cut my binding at 2½ inches. So when I'd finished all my quilting, I trimmed my table runner and I put my binding on at the end, cut at 2½ inches and folded in half. And we do have other tutorials available to show you how to put your binding on your quilt. So have some fun with these lovely summery panels, and I look forward to seeing you next time here in the sewing studio.